Today, I'm going to show you my 7-day process for setting up an AI business from nothing. That's right, you can go from zero to having a business actually pretty quickly if you pay attention to the right things. And today, we're going to talk to you about how to pay attention to the right things, from choosing the right niche, the right products, where does AI fit in, how do we build this up, and finally, make a profit. We're going to go through all of this line by line. This is a system that I've used for many years to set up blogs from back before there was AI in niche markets like weight loss, working out, making money, software, and the whole 9 yards. We even went into some funny niches like smiley faces. That one, surprisingly, was one of our biggest earners. And if you've ever heard the acronym KIIS, well, that's what we're going to be focusing on. Keep it simple, stupid. Which means we need to keep this whole process as stupidly simple as possible so that we can actually build something and get results. Far too many people are teaching complicated things that involve all kinds of tech, a bunch of money to get started, and at the end of the day, you're left usually trying to sell the product they sold you in the first place, which is more of a racket than an actual business. So today, we are talking about how to build a real business with AI. This is something very straightforward, so pay close attention, take notes, and get ready, because we're going to use AI every step of the way to build this business from the ground up. So if you're excited, smash that like button, and let's go to work. All right, so let's dive in. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about a day-by-day kind of thing that you can go through to start from not having any idea. Maybe you're looking at startup ideas, business ideas, AI ideas, and all of these things that you're doing to try to make money. What we want to do is we want to harness that in and keep it very simple and really let the market and the idea and the data drive our decisions. This is super important because if you're not making data decisions, then you're just kind of floundering around and you don't know if what you have is going to work. It's kind of like a guess. We don't want to guess, we want to know based on data. So day number one, we're going to hit the ground running with our foundation niche. What we're going to do is we're going to try to find something that's going to get us a jump start, a head start, or something that's going to push us further than just sitting around and waiting for the sky to give us money or whatever it is people are doing, manifesting. This is about actually going and doing it. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to find our niche. When I go into finding a niche, my favorite place to go is either using a keyword tool like Ahrefs or going to like GoDaddy Auctions or Spamzilla or something like that to try to find a domain that already has something with it. What this is going to do is, one, it's going to give me a little head start because these are already picked up. And by the way, domain names is like a gigantic business. We have a video coming out about that next week. Joe is going to come here in the office and show us what he's been doing from the stuff I taught him a couple years ago about how to buy and sell domains and build them for profit and all of that. So really good stuff. Keep an eye out for that video. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find something without any preconceived idea of what I think is going to work. Listening to gurus and saying, oh, sell this mug or sell this thing or here's some hot products, what happens is most people have already done that and you're not going to have a head start. So you're going to start trying to sell something, and before you even put your sign out front, so to speak, you're already behind the game. So we don't want to do that. We want to look at something very simple and do it really, really, really well. There's two schools of thought. One is completely ludicrous, but you have to build up to it. It's not ludicrous if you build up to it, but it is when you're starting out. And that is like having a bunch of products. Let's go sell a bunch of things. I'm bound to sell a few things a day. Well, probably not. A lot of people are trying that. You're not going to compete with Amazon. Or the other school of thought is like go out there and pick a niche that other people have already seen and it's proven to work or something like that. What we're going to do is we're going to X all that out and we're going to start with something that works. So I'm going to go over to something like Spamzilla. This is a program I use all the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the GoDaddy auctions or whatever auctions you like, and I'm going to look for domains that have some kind of rankings in Google, because that's going to tell me there's something there. Now, for whatever reason, these domains expired, the owner is selling them, they're on auction, whatever the reason is, they're just available. So I can get these cheap and I can get them now. What I want is something now. Now, if we're also going the expired domain route, there still are some good ones. Obviously, be ethical, check the history, and make sure whatever domain you're using it for what that intent is. So if I was to go here and say, okay, well, how do I find a business? Marcus, what does this even mean? We see like some kind of brewing company, something about batteries. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for something that leads to something specific and tight knit. So I want something like a product, like dictionary words, or maybe like inflatable bounce houses or something specific, okay? Or even like healthcare. Like this one here is a specific healthcare one that ranks for all kinds of healthcare in a certain region. We could see that back in the day, it ranked for all kinds of more stuff, over 2,000 words in Google. So what I'm thinking is, okay, this is something that I could build up and kind of teach people about healthcare in that specific area. I could go and be an expert in healthcare in this area of New York, and I can learn all about it, find all the places, all this stuff. Here's the in-network doctors, the out-network doctors, and build an entire business around it, knowing that healthcare pays a lot of money. Okay, now that is kind of a dicier one. Healthcare's, it's a big, important issue. There is a lot of competition, but there's also a lot of money. So you might want to start with something even more simple. And again, this is where the process comes in, where we look at these names and we say, okay, what's out there? Now, most of the time, if I'm out there looking for domains, I will find stuff like here's one for, trading, and here's some others for different things like that. Now, when I go through and buy them, what I'm doing is I'm looking for that head start in Google, like this one here that I bought, which is all about economics terms. This one I bought right here in the dip, which is why it was inexpensive. I think I paid like $50 for this after all the fees and everything. I got it at auction for about $50. It does rank for certain terms. And I'm like, okay, this is all about different economics terms. I can turn this into a site to help people with economics. I can use AI to help me. Boom, there we go. Also looking at some others that I have. Here is one that I bought. This was a more expensive one. I've kind of neglected it, but it is still ranking. And this was for all different types of things about business and WordPress, software, things like that, where AI would really shine in this one. And very, very cool stuff. Now, I buy these domains all the time. We get tons of them. From this one is about hiring writers for articles and blog posts and things like that. We have one that is about coaching, something about passing driver tests and things like that, learning code, all kinds of stuff, golfing, even one that's about like inflatables. This was kind of a funny one where people were actually looking up inflatable pubs, which apparently in the UK, this is a big thing where people rent out or buy these giant pubs. And then I don't know what they do with them, but it's a big business and they're expensive. So first what we're going to do is we're going to find what we're going to sell. Okay, so we're going to find the foundation of the niche. If you're going the expired domain route, you can do that. If you're going the auction domain route, you can do that. Again, what we're doing is we're looking for a little head start. Some of these aren't going to be like crazy zingers. Oh my gosh, we're ranking overnight. Unless, you find one good. Sometimes you do. It just depends on the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that head start, and that head start is going to box us in. Notice if I go through and I say, okay, now I'm making a blog about inflatable pubs. Okay, well, all the questions are now answered. What am I going to write about? Inflatable pubs. What am I going to use AI to make content about? Inflatable pubs. Same kind of thing with the article writing one or whatever it is. We're going to go through and use that. Or if I was using this medical healthcare one, right? If I go through and say, okay, I'm making a site about medical insurance or whatever. And if I was doing this, I would talk about the places and the care and things like that. I wouldn't get into the medical aspect. I would just talk about insurance and how it works in New York. That would be a good site you can build up. But going through and looking at this now, once we find our domain or our idea, okay, you could start with an idea if you don't want to go the domain route. Just research it and make sure it's what you want and make sure that there's money there, okay? Next, we're going to do a super deep dive with AI, and we're going to go through and we're going to look at that market. So if I was to go through and say, okay, I am going to use this economics terms one over here, I can go through and use AI to do it. Or if I was going to use the WordPress one, I could go through and I could say, let's make a glossary of terms for WordPress tools and plugins. What this is going to do is it's going to show me the lay of the land of where I could go. Now, I also want to look at what was in the Google rankings. So like what was ranking before. I have something about Elementor versus Framework, or we have, is Fiverr good for buyers, Astra versus this. So we're seeing a lot of comparison type things, which would be good. We can do that with AI as well. We're going to go through and we're going to look at all this. Now, just list the terms. And I can even go through and say, list all of the top WordPress plugins and put the word versus after them, right? And you're going to see here, if I take this list and I put it into our keyword tool over here, you're going to see exactly what this looks like, where we could go through and see, yeah, this stuff gets a lot of traffic. It's very specific, and it's not that competitive. You'll see some 17s here, a 6, and on we go. And this is the type of content that's actually not that hard to make. We use AI and we can build that out. So doing deep research there, I can go through and say, now make it the top 50 plugins with the word VS after. Okay, and this will be like member mouse versus this or whatever, and we can go through line by line. So yeah, line by line, not lime, right? We're gonna go through and we will do something like this, and we'll say, okay, Yoast versus Rank Math. Boom, there's 300 searches a month, 500 if you count all the global. Then we could go for the next one, and you're gonna see this literally just goes line by line, and there are thousands of visitors here, and this is very, very easy content to make. We're just gonna talk about it. There's 80, 20 there, and on we go. And you can look them all up and see what that looks like. Again, all we're doing is providing good stuff. Now, what we're gonna do next, obviously we're gonna go out there and we're gonna buy the domain we want, whether it's at auction, whether we buy it as a new registration, or whether it's expired. If it's an expired one, you could usually just go and buy it straight up. You just go to like GoDaddy or wherever you like to buy them, or you could get it with your hosting. We get hosting in an easy way. I'll have instructions over at blogprofitnetwork.com. So going there, we're gonna set this up. You're gonna get your domain, you're gonna get your hosting. Now, you're already like light years ahead of everyone else in trying to make money, because now you know where you're going, right? I'm in the WordPress niche. I'm doing that healthcare New York one. I'm doing this one about the inflatable pubs or whatever it is. Now we're going to get that. Next, we're going to get our domain and our hosting. Okay, you can do this. We show you how to do this. I have an instructional video over at GoHubSite.com. You can go there and get your hosting. Super easy. You're going to want to do that. All the links are on blogprofitnetwork.com. You can follow along. We're doing a 7-day challenge based on all this. You can kind of follow along and build this as you go. Now, going through next, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the structure of the website or blog. So you're going to go through, if you're getting a domain that already had some traction, you want to look at what the pages look like. So you're going to go over here to pages, and you're going to build it like it was when it was really big. So we need to get like 54 pages here. We're going to go through and we're going to make all the pages. You want to make sure it links exactly, like whatever these links are, when you're done building it, they should work. And you can do this in WordPress. It's very easy. You just set your permalinks. If you're building a regular site with AI or whatever, you could do that as well. It's not that difficult to do. You just want to make sure that the links do work, and they do need to fit exactly. Super, super important. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find what we're going to sell. Okay, so we need to go through and we need to say, okay, what is it that we're going to sell here? I got this economics thing. I got the health thing. What are we going to do? I can go to AI, I can go to Google, I can find affiliate programs, go to ClickBank, wherever we want to go. We can find any affiliate programs. What we want to do, and I get asked this all the time where people say, what is the best affiliate program? And newsflash, there isn't one. The best affiliate program is the one that fits your traffic the best. So if I have a course on getting good at economics or learning economics things, well, then that would work really well with the economics one. Or if there's a blog post on that economics one that talks about credit cards, I can be a credit card affiliate. Or like this video, obviously, web hosting. I'm an affiliate of web hosting. That's why we send you over to the sites to get web hosting. It's very simple, very straightforward. You want to look at what it is. Or if it's the inflatable pubs, I could do a mix of maybe drop shipping if I find a good one. I can do Amazon affiliate, or I can be an affiliate of some inflatable pub site or something like that, okay? Very simple. Now, before we go into the next thing, and probably even before we buy our domain, you wanna make sure that the math is mathin', all right? You wanna make sure that this makes sense. If I'm looking at inflatable pub, I need to know that there is actually traffic for this. Like, does anyone care about this stuff? Now, I know that this actually does. Inflatable pool bar, that would be the upper echelon. Same thing, so I'm gonna make this pub one about that too. We could see the competition isn't that bad. There is a lot of searches, and there's some good sites out there, okay? Now, obviously watch out for like trademarks and things like that. This one looks like it might have something there with this one here, but again, you would want to take a look and see where that's at. If this was the trademark issue, I would not buy this one. Now, going through with some others, maybe we could look at the economics, the WordPress, whatever it is, okay? Going through, we want to understand it. If I was looking at that, does the math? How many actual pubs would I need to sell to make this work? Probably quite a few, because Amazon pays like 2%, 5%, and if it's $1,000, I'd need to sell quite a few of them. If I'm in the economics market, that's going to make more money. If I'm in the WordPress and the hosting market, that'll probably make even more. And we could see here some of these, like money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. That's pretty solid. That's some good stuff, good content we can make. Now, once we're done and we figure out the math is mathing, I want to know, can I make $1,000 a month? Can I make X amount? What is it like? We're going to base that on the offer. So if we get paid $300 for a credit card sign up, or a mortgage, or whatever it is, how many of those would I need a month to actually make money? Does the traffic support it? And is the traffic around what that's about? Okay, really cool. Then we're going to get into the AI stuff as well. We're going to set up the structure, everything like that. Now, before we go any further, I think I did put a disclaimer here. Yeah, there's our disclaimer down there. I want you to realize that even though we're setting this up and it can move quickly, you can get traffic, you can get all kinds of stuff pretty quickly, we want to understand exactly what's going on. We want to understand where everyone is, where the money's made, and everything like that. And we need to understand that the results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. The average person trying to just make money online makes nothing. So we want to make sure that we look at this like a business person and understand what we're getting into. Day number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to build it out. We're going to look at the old pages that ranked as per Ahrefs. We're going to look at what the site was like before. We're going to build our own new content to make this work. It's very important when you're getting a domain, you're only buying the domain. You're not buying the content that was on the domain. You're not like buying the whole business. You just own the domain. That's all you're getting. So it's up to us to make our new content, which with AI is pretty easy. Like if I was to go through and say, okay, I want to make a piece of content for that term that was about, the best investments or money mistakes to avoid in your 20s, I can go through and I can ask ChatGPT or Gemini, please make a detailed, good article about this. Now, obviously, I'm going to go through and I'm going to fancy this up. I'm going to make sure there's no errors. I'm going to fact check, add some tables, add some images. I'm going to make it a really good post, because the better we make our content, the better we're going to do. And the chances of ranking this are pretty high since it ranked before. So I'm going to go through and build this up. Obviously, check plagiarism, make sure that it's not copying a bunch of sites and stuff like that. We can see that there's quite a few good things that we can use, and this is actually pretty decent content. Obviously, I would want to go through and make it even better. Now, when I'm done with this content, I would want to make sure it is on this exact link. You can see here the domain, financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s, with all the dashes and stuff like that. So very, very simple. Now, you can even start ahead of the game and have it do deep research. This is a way to get a more unique type of content, where I would go through and I would do a deep research. It's going to look at like 100 different websites, get a bunch of data and understand it, and then I can ask questions and build an article from there. This method takes longer than the just write me an article method, but it's going to give you a better piece of content. You'll have a better chance of ranking, and for the next steps, this is going to make it even easier. Now, we're going to go through and we're going to build this into a full-fledged AI business by looking at what are people looking for, how can we use AI to help them, what kind of content would work. So we're going to go through, we're going to look at the old pages. We're going to think about where I could get boosters. So for example, this one, the money mistakes one, maybe I could give it like a 2025 angle and do a press release. Like maybe I could title it, mistakes people are making in their 20s and 30s with money in the coming recession, or whatever is in the news. I can do that booster. I can do like a press release. I can do a video. I can make a checklist or something like that, or tie it to the housing market right now. Whatever it is, I can do. Same kind of thing with that health one. Maybe I could talk about what's going on with healthcare in New York, talk about the news, talk about different savings and things like that. Always be ethical, always be good, and always think about what you're going to do next. Is there a certain savings plan that 20-year-olds can get that would actually help them? Again, this is about helping the market, and the better you help the market, the better they're going to keep coming back and watching and listening and consuming your content, even if it's AI driven. Then we're going to go through, we're going to make content. Okay, we're going to pivot like this economics one, or even the one about the inflatable bars or whatever, right? That one there, I would want to go through. It didn't have that much content, so I would need to pivot. Maybe I'd pivot into the bars instead of the pubs or whatever it is. Always have your disclaimers as well. Think of your sales channels. What am I going to do to sell? What is this post? What is this piece of content going to sell at the end of the day? If I was looking at the WordPress one, I would say, okay, Themify. All right, maybe I could be an affiliate of Themify or Fiverr. They have a great affiliate program, or these different builders looking at this. And this is actually a pretty new one. I know one of the people who started this one, and it's a very new one. And it's something, well, okay, you could get it into web hosting, or maybe that has an affiliate program, which I think it does. And this would be something that you can pair the affiliate offers with each thing. Like here's a SiteGround one. Even though there's not that much traffic and we're not ranking that great, I can build that up. That's about web hosting. It's about understanding your market and knowing your market. And notice how once we decide what domain and market we're using, everything else falls into place. Then we're going to look at sales channels. Can I get traffic from other places? Can I do a Pinterest? Would this work on Facebook? Should I do short, faceless videos? How can I build this up? Also, am I going to be building a list? Very important. For the inflatable pubs and bars and things like that, probably not going to build a list. I could, but I don't actually own the product, so it'd probably be just an affiliate play. For something like the economics or the WordPress, yes, I'm going to build a mailing list. Then on day 2, the most important thing you're going to do, in addition to all this other stuff, it's all important, we're going to install a tracker. We want to see where the traffic is coming from, see what posts and pages they are hitting, and see where the errors are. Because you'll say, oh, this image is getting a bunch of traffic. However, I don't have an image because I just bought the domain, so I'll need to make an image, maybe an infographic or something like that. Again, all of these and the notes will be laid out. There is where to find them. The key here on day 2 is stay lean and focused. Again, remember your disclaimer, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to get rich overnight. You have to look at this and understand. While some people can get quick results, I showed this to a guy who's one of our students. He got results within a couple of days in the terms of sales. That's the peak. That's not the norm, right? That is the exception, not the rule. So understanding that and looking at, okay, well, what did he do? How can we kind of use that? And what he did is he used a booster to get this ranking faster. Now, day number 3, what we're going to do is we're going to add our profit centers. So you're going to go through, let's say you made this fantastic, wonderful article about avoiding the money mistakes or whatever it is. You're going to go through and find where it would make sense to put affiliate offers. Obviously, you don't want like 500 affiliate offers on one blog post, but I could go through and I can maybe put 2 or 3 where it would make sense. If I'm looking at that, and I look at how this one works, not creating a budget. Okay, great. Can I link them to budget software? Racking up high interest debt. Okay, maybe I could lead them to balance transfer cards or debt payoff things or something like that. Retirement, maybe I can show them retirement stuff. And a lot of these will do really well if you focus. Again, it's about that focus, and it's about everything we do needs to be very specific and harnessed to the result we want. So we're going to go through day number 3. We're going to add affiliate offers, direct offers, maybe like if you're in the budget one and you use AI to create your own budget tools, you can sell those. Like I could go through here and I could say, okay, new chat, go to Canvas, and I could say, let's make an AI-enabled budget tool using the Gemini API. And what this will do is it'll actually make the tool for us. It'll tap into the API, so the AI will be like, oh, here's where you could save money, or whatever it is. Obviously, disclaimer it, because an AI is not going to give financial advice. It is, you need to take everything with a grain of salt. But this is something that can help, maybe a calculator. A couple years ago, I made a calculator for people that wanted to sell their house, and I had like high offer, low offer, medium offer. I should probably bring that site back since house prices are going kind of crazy right now. But looking at that, the idea was I want something that people are actually going to get value out of and use. And a lot of times you will find that these work really, really well. And if I was to go through to our keyword tool and do something like AI budget, maybe there's people already searching for AI budget tools. And it looks like there are AI budget generator, AI budget planner, all kinds of stuff like that. And if you take away the word AI, you're going to see the big area of this market as well, which is budget planner. And again, you're building something of value. You can make these and build them. So Gem and I will go through. Here's our AI powered budget tool. Obviously, I would want to make it better. Like go through, spend a couple days, make it really good, do the work, build a business like you actually mean it while going through and looking at your market and saying, okay, how could we do this? Maybe you could make a inflatable bar size calculator. Oh, I'm going to have 20 people over. How big do I need? Or whatever it is, right? You look at your market, you make it make sense. Or economics terms. You can make flashcards or something like that to help them understand them. Very, very cool. Direct offers. This you could do like a mailing list. You could do a membership site. You can sell some of your tools, maybe a budget planner, something like that. The key here in day 3 is to look for where you can make AI tools and helpful stuff for your market, whether it's a planner, a calculator, a tool, a generator, a sales page headline maker, or whatever it is that your market would want. Maybe you could even do like, I know a lot of people are in the tiny house niche and they can make like little demos of what tiny houses would look like, or how many people you need for how big of a house, or whatever. You're looking at this in a very specific way, and you're letting that domain and that niche that you initially picked in day 1 guide you through the process. And again, like following what you're doing is you're building bricks on top of each other, and that's how you get a brick house. Right? If you're out there and you're like, this brick looks good, and you throw it in the dirt, and then tomorrow you go get another brick and that one looks really shiny, it's a gold brick, painted gold, right? Like in Laurel and Hardy, if you remember that, and you're not getting anywhere. You're just collecting bricks and throwing them around. We want to build on top of the thing we did the day before. This is important, and this is what gives you the structure to go through and build these businesses. Day number 4, what we're going to do is a simple funnel test. We're going to go through, we're going to check our rankings with the rank tracker. You can use any rank tracker. We have one at Blog Profit Network that I built for you with AI. It's actually, I do this for a living. This is what I do. I build AI tools and sell them and build businesses with AI. They work really well. So we're going to check our rankings. If you can, maybe test some paid traffic. This is something that works good to see if your traffic would actually come in. It's also a way to see if the traffic volume's there and they'll click, which is cool. I would say, if you're going to do that, most people will not, but if you're going to, maybe spend like $10 or something. Obviously, do it conservatively. Expect to lose it. We're looking for data, not, I'm going to spend 10 and make $1.5 million. That's not how it works. We need to look at it directly. We're going to get direct traffic. Can I go on social media and talk about the new tool? Hey, I made this new budget tool, or I have this new article about budgeting in your 20s and 30s, or whatever it is, right? Starting to look at this and understand it as the building blocks is key. Can I do a press release like that tax guy I have who got results within, I think it was within the same day. Again, nobody gets those results. It's not typical. Don't expect it, but he did, and press releases can be pretty quick if done correctly. Boosters, can I go to other websites? Can I post on Facebook, do a Pinterest or something like that? Can I get outside traffic to my site? Can I get image traffic like Pinterest, or maybe short videos with the video traffic, or guest posting or something like that to boost my site up? What we're looking for is obviously getting a domain. It will get rankings and traffic sometimes, right? If you do it right and you buy a good domain, sometimes it'll have traffic already with it. But what we're doing is we're looking for the others that might not get traffic or might not get picked up right away. Can we drive traffic to them directly? And if you're building AI tools like we did in day 3, these work great. You just share them on social media and say, hey, check out this tool. It'll help you do X, Y, and Z. Here's how. Follow along, done deal. Next, we're going to go through day 5. I am a big advocate of putting live chat on my websites. I actually put a real live chat, not a AI one. Why? Because I want to monitor the traffic in real time, and live chat allows me to do that. Our plugin at Blog Profit Network also allows you to do that, but this is more real time, and you can chat with your visitors. The plugin will just track the traffic in real time. We're going to install live chat. Maybe talk to your visitors, see what they want. Like, you could help them out. Be like, oh, you're looking for this software. Cool, here it is. Give them your affiliate link. Tell them it's an affiliate link. Have all the disclosures and disclaimers and everything. Then we go through, have some question boxes where they can do feedback. Forms they can fill out. Hey, what's your number one question about buying a software or economics, or what are the mistakes you've made? People will talk if you let them. That's what the whole internet is about. Everyone has something to say. Everyone's got questions. Everyone needs help. And you're looking at it and you're like, okay, all I have to do is get in the line of what they're doing based on my niche. We want to have direct marketing of tools, direct traffic, and direct offers. Everything needs to be direct. This isn't something where we're just branding and hoping and praying that people come to our site. We are directly going, this press release is directly leading to this, which is going to have the outcome of them buying this. This is going here, which is going to have the outcome of them filling out the form to get my free tool. Whatever it is, it needs to be very direct, very deliberate. This blog post is ranking on Google. How do I get them to purchase, fill out a form, buy something, test something, or become part of my mailing list, or watch the sales video? Everything is designed to get people to that next step. And once you understand that, I mean, even if you have a blog that has like 50 different articles that could go in different directions, they're all going to promote something directly. Each input point is its own micro business of a sort. Very important. Then what we're going to do in day 6, check our rankings. Go to Ahrefs, look it up. I know the search engines are kind of crazy right now with how rankings appear. Not everything is showing up, but we can manually do this and kind of see what's going on. Again, having that tracker on your site will show you what pages people are coming from, which is going to tell you, okay, this blog post is getting all the traffic. Chances are it's probably ranking for something similar to the title of the post. You can kind of deduce from there and go and look at it. Look at where the traffic is, if there's any. See what pops up. What can I improve? Is there traffic? Can I make more content? Can I make better content? Can I tweak something for maybe a ranking I didn't know I was going to get? And can I focus on repurposing? Now that I have this blog post about the money mistakes, can I turn that into 10 different posts for Facebook, or 10 different short videos, or a long video, or a webinar, or whatever it is, or a bigger blog post? Looking at this, or a shorter blog post, looking at this in a real specific way is key. We want to focus on serving the market, thinking different using AI. Can I make tools? Can I build this? Can I make something they will actually want and get value out of, rather than just noise content to rank? That's not what we want to do. I put a tool on one of my blog posts that was ranking. We did one about a domain value estimator, and I noticed it was getting traffic and it was ranking okay. I put a tool on it that we made with AI, and my programmer helped me because I didn't know how to do it back then. Now AI would do the whole thing and save a bunch of money. I could build it for pennies instead of, I think it cost me like $500 or something like that. But I put a tool on it, and now it ranks like number 1. It gets traffic every day. It has tons of keywords. It works really well, and it drives people to my domain buying course, which is great. So thinking about these very specific, and my entire site isn't just about domains. That one is, which is why that one sells the domain course. Very specific. That's what we want to do. Day number 7, we're going to go through and build up our socials. We're going to get our Facebook, build up a faceless channel if you're doing that, create some lead magnets. Lead magnets are things you give away to get people to your site, like a book, a calculator, a report, a checklist, anything that you're going to give them that will make them fill out a form. That's why it's a lead magnet. It's magneting them to become a lead by giving them something of value. You're going to interact with your market, focus, build, and grow. Once you do this and you understand, okay, now I have a starting point, now I know where I'm going, that makes everything so much more straightforward, and it ends info overload. That's why with our clients, I always say, hey, get a niche from us. We have a program where we build niches and set everything up based on domains we buy. That's why that is the best program, because it's going to push you forward in that. Now, it is one of our more expensive programs, which is why I'm running this challenge, so that you guys can kind of see how it works on your own and go through and say, okay, well, I want to follow along. Maybe I got couple of bucks to buy a domain or whatever it is. And that's what we're doing over at blogprofitnetwork.com. We're starting this week. I'll have some notes and everything over there. And guess what? This video is a lead magnet. I'm getting you over there so that you get the tools and you can register for the challenge and everything like that. So what we're looking at here is a very straightforward process. And when you focus on this and you start to understand, oh, wait a minute, this is about getting that right foundation of having the right niche and knowing where I'm going. Once you answer that question, making money online, building a business, affiliate marketing, making money with AI becomes a lot easier, because now all you're doing is answering questions based on something you know, based on data. And when you understand that and you say, okay, now I have this website or this blog, okay, we're using blogs and WordPress. You could use whatever you want, but Google loves blogs. Blogs are easy, they're fast, there's no barrier of entry, there's not a whole lot you could do with, design and stuff like that. So we're gonna go through and focus. Then you're gonna go through and you'll have like, okay, now I have SEO rankings on Google that are pointing in. Now I have little videos that were derivatives of the post I made here. Now I got my AI calculators and tools. Maybe down the road I can make a membership site. I can get some traffic. I could build this up. And what you're doing is you're going around this wheel, building and growing, rather than just going and trying to find new things that are going to make money or whatever it is. This is where it's going to help you, and you're going to understand, okay, we're going very basic, we're going very simple, and we're like, okay, this is it. This is a simple WordPress theme. Over at Blog Profit Network, we have the theme, and you can check it out and use it. And you can see it's very simple. We just have an opt-in. We have some pages and posts and stuff like that. And they do rank. All you have to do is really think about what your market wants and where you're going to go. Like if you look at the pages for this one, we could go through and see, okay, what does it look like? Here's Genesis Pro versus Elementor, and you could see what the post looks like. Very simple, very straightforward. And I would just go through. You could see it is an expensive product. I could put an affiliate offer on here and everything like that. And you could see we put like little banners and things to get traffic as well. Understanding your market is key. And if you understand your market, you don't need that much traffic to really get results. You can get results with a small, very tight-knit type thing. So hopefully you like this beginning to the 7-day AI business. This is kind of a precursor to the challenge we're doing, which is really cool. You're just going to set something up pretty low key. Obviously focus on what works, focus on data, and maybe we can get a camera that doesn't zoom in every 5 seconds, and you could go from there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button. Check out the video in the description about domains. I have another one about blogging, all kinds of stuff to help you learn this business in a real world way. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next training.